All right, so we're back again. Oh, so we can begin now. Some people are joining, so let us wait for them. Let me start. All right, so we have waited enough now, so we'll start now. So earlier, before the lunch session, we walked through uh, how to what are the important components of manuscript writing. For example, when it comes to title, abstract, introduction, literature survey, etc., etc., and also how to state your paper to a couple of figures, I mean, like composite figures. That's what we saw earlier today. Now, after recapping those points, I would like to walk you through some of the samples, and the ones which are one of the best in the field. Some of the best examples I have tried to put it here, okay, for your reference. So just one question, is everybody able to hear me? Hello?
We can hear you.
Okay, all right, all right. Okay, so anyway, moving on. The first thing, what is actually very important is that your figures should state the major central idea of your paper. Okay, and usually I prefer to have a concept diagram, which I'll be covering in the next few slides. Then you should have amassed all the relevant results in this exact composite format. And you have to take special take care of the things that your font size, like the font inside the figure, is actually having absolute clarity. Okay, because I've seen received some submissions where the figures are not clear. So I want to set the tone right, how the figures should be. In all of these, reputed journals, when you go through them, what you will see is that the figures have absolute clarity. The fonts, the smallest font will have, it's so clear that you can look at it from a mile away. Okay? You can actually read it from a mile. So that's very important. And the usually the figure caption and the size of the fonts in the figure should be same. That's a preferred, like size of the font. Your font size inside the figure can be bigger than the caption, but it looks more uniform when it is of the same size. Unless and until you want to emphasize on something which is much more important, your figure font should be equal to your caption font. Okay. Um, so the best way around is, don't be lazy. Okay. Be persistent with this thing. After a while, you will start enjoying this process. After that, you will not stop. You will be addicted. Okay? It's just in the beginning that we are actually kind of having those kind of problems. So now let's look at this new figure, photograph. There was figure number 7 in the same earlier paper which we're walking through. So here they have this solution of the graphene-based ink. Here is a paper which is actually painted with the graphene ink. They have also included a nice small scale here for size reference. They have shown in the inset that this graphene is coated using a brush, like a paint brush on the paper. And then they perform an addition test with the help of a tape to ensure that the graphene is sticking to the paper properly. Okay. Now on the paper, they are actually measuring all the sheet resistance and all those things. And then they are actually checking how the resistance of the paper changes with respect to bending and the bending radius of the coated paper. So see how clear they are. I mean, like they are first. I mean, like this set of figures. It's actually, I don't have to read anything. I don't have to read the paper. I can look at this set of papers and I can understand what is going on. I look at it, I will see that it's okay. It's in the form of a liquid. It's a paint. It's in the form of a paint. Yeah. Then I look at this picture. I know on a very large, because the scale is big, right? It's a 1 feet long scale. So this paper is at least 1 feet long by 1 feet. Yeah. And then they have painted this graphene on the paper. Then to test how well this is going, I mean, like how well this paint has stuck to the paper. For that, they performed the adhesion test. Okay. And now they measured the resistance of the paper due to graphene. Okay. Various I mean, like as you keep on increasing the concentration of graphene, you can see that the sheet resistance is coming down. So that means it is becoming much more conductive than what it initially was. Okay. And then after they have completed that, they are actually testing how bending radius of the paper is affecting the conductivity of the overall sheet. So they have set the parameter at about 1 ohm per square, yeah, and then they are actually started doing the bending test. So this is the final set for the paper. So this becomes your part of this paper will be cut into small pieces and inserted as a dielectric constant or a dielectric material between the terminals of a capacitor. So that becomes a supercapacitor. That's what this paper is. See how simply they have actually presented this entire thing. Okay. So now they also show how this supercapacitor is constructed. Okay. they've already shown it here. They have an electrolyte gel in between. There is a graphene coated on each side, coated paper on each side, and then there is a terminal on each side. Okay, and then they show how using the cyclic voltammetric curves, how the current density is varying. Okay, at various across the voltages for 200 millivolt to 5,000 millivolts per second. Okay, so that's what they show there. And then they also show in other cyclic voltammetric test curves again. And then they show how the area capacitance versus scan rate is, like varying, which is actually basically when you speak about a large capacitor, you will actually have to calculate the area capacitance of the due to the surface area of the electrodes of the capacitor. So all the relevant data is mentioned here, which actually makes for a good article, which is with a good scientific data, right? Now we have gone through very generic kind of things. Now let's come to the specific tonal differences between when you approach an engineering article and a science article. So engineering article is different from a science article. Okay. So typical flow of this is a typical flow diagram of a journal article, which is for a science paper. Okay. First, you actually speak about a hypothesis, then you conduct an experiment, then you conduct the discussions. Then using the discussions again, you are going to test the concept using making many more samples, and then after making the samples, then you will be coming to the design equations. You will be establishing certain equations that, like mathematical equations, that actually govern the scientific principle. Okay, and then using those equations, you are going to test those equations to design new samples. Okay, so that is a typical flow of a science article. Whereas in engineering, it's the reverse. You take an established theory, you take into account the theoretical equations, which you have drawn from a science-based article. You perform design and simulations based on that. You build prototypes out of it. Then you complete the experiments and discussions, and then you write the final conclusions. So this is different as compared to this one. Okay. In case of humanities and management, the tone is more or less similar to science, but you start with a hypothesis, then you conduct a survey, then you do discussions, and then again you leave it out in the open for people to interpret it and redo certain parts of the experiments and those kind of things again, right, to test the thing. Now, again, I'll come to the humanities and management part again a little later. First, I'm covering the science and engineering part. Yeah. So again, when you look at this particular paper, there is an opening statement. This was a paper, the same article which we had seen in the today in the morning. We had seen the title and the abstract. Now you see, demonstrate this. You see this figure here? That was in the very first page. So if I'm a reviewer, or if I'm someone who's following up your work, the moment I see this, my attention is drawn towards what you are actually trying to achieve. Okay. And then I'll spend my time, really long time, to read this entire thing, understand this entire thing. I can see that everything is in an arbitrary position. So there is a definite advantage to this method because I'm the field, so I will definitely know, right? So the chances are that your reviewer is going to be an expert in your field. So that's how it happens. And then if you go through this particular article, what you will find is a couple of important things. Okay. One is the opening statement. The opening statement itself, in the introduction itself, in the very first 3 lines, they introduce the problem statement. And that's a very intelligent way to do it. Okay. Because nobody, will be waiting for all the introduction and all those things to come to the actual problem statement. Attack the thing at this stage itself. Then again, explain the problem statement a little further, not too much, but a little further. This is where you can actually also introduce your literature survey right at this stage. Okay, that's fine. Some people do that. Okay. Then They explain the problem statement further, and then they directly talk about what is being done in the paper without wasting much time. Okay, so within the first paragraph itself, first few paragraph itself, I know what this paper is talking about. Okay, what they are trying to solve. Then they showed through various diagrams how their system, I mean, like works. Okay, so they have shown here that they've shown the construction of their entire waveguide, dielectric layer, and ground plane, and then they introduce some equations, I mean, like symbols which hint towards Maxwell's equation. Okay, the moment if I'm from this field, the moment I see epsilon to epsilon and some electromagnetic wave, ground plane, and all these things, I know that this is setting tone for very complex Maxwellian equations. Okay, so that's what I will know. So this is very specific to each field. Okay, this is where you will have to rely on your own expertise on how to present this data. I mean, like which data you want to present first, so that to convince the reviewers first. Okay, the concept diagram is really important because it actually uh, conveys the entire point of the paper to the reviewers. And reviewers and editors are the first, readers of your paper. So you need to convince them. You don't have to convince others. Or like somebody will come and disagree with you later on. That's a different story. But then your first job is to convince the reviewers and the editors. They are the first readers of your paper. Okay. Um, for engineering, usually what people do is that they tabularize the entire literature survey, and it's a self-contained, tabular data, and you don't spend too much time on writing, building the thing. That happens in certain management papers because those things have to be written that way. There is no other way to write that. Okay. For example, here in this particular paper, this is a different paper. So this is a short literature survey, how engineering people work now. Okay. They will actually identify which are the major part, method, frequency, application, limitation, alignment. So those kind of various things which are specific to their particular paper. For example, this is a wireless power transfer paper. So there is a problem of alignment in wireless power transfer systems. Okay, so that's why alignment sensitive is a specific parameter. Then there is limitation, there is application frequency, which is a specific parameter. And then method. Method is, of course, a method. So here you can see reference 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. All of them have used different kind of methods. Okay. One uses ultrasonic lamp waves, another one uses acoustic waves, another one uses SEPAP, another one uses ultrasonic again, and then another one uses piezoelectric, another one uses electromagnetic actuator technique, and then another one uses capacitive or inductive coupling, or another one uses inductive, and the 18th reference uses a 3-coil system instead of a regular 2-coil system. And this particular study was using a Zenith wave non-radiating power transmission. So, and then they were operating on various different frequencies, and the applications range from sensors across pipes and etc. And this one is power and communication for industry. And then the limitations are defined here. Okay, and then the alignment sensitive, this kind of a thing, whether all the things except for this particular study, everything else is alignment sensitive. So that's a very important, I mean, like the current study, this is a very big challenge. Okay, this is a big challenge in wireless power transfer. And if your system is non-sensitive towards the alignment, okay, of the coils, that is transmitter and the receiver, you are actually at a very big advantage. So the literature survey itself the table of contents can itself convey a big push for your case, right? So that's what happens. Now, when you are actually citing one or two continuous things, 9 and 10, okay, fine. But then you have a bunch of various, literatures which you want to call. So you will use this kind of a notation, 12 to 15. I think you know what it actually is. And everything is recalled here in this particular small area. Okay, I did not go further into it, and then it's done in a very compact format. Okay, so learn how to do compact writing. This is a very important method of writing. If you are going to use ChatGPT will not be able to help you with compact writing. It's very bad at that. Okay. Uh, Another thing which you really should do in your background or literature survey is to appreciate other people's work. Okay. While doing so, do point out limitations, but first appreciate and then point out the limitation. Okay. For example, waves travel along the surface of the media, metal in this case, which are excited by ultrasonic transducer-based transmitting unit. Okay, so I defined what is the concept the Lamb wave system is following here, and then I go into saying this is picked up by the receiver, which converts the acoustic wave into an electrical signal. So here I have given a reference to the ninth reference, and then I said this useful concept needs further exploration in terms of its full spectrum of performance. For now, the limitations seem to manifest due to the wavelength and metal thickness. We are of an opinion that this method would be extremely useful for true perfect enclosure applications, e.g. submarine hull signal penetrators. Likewise, an interesting article by the same research group appeared, which uses acoustic waves for true metal applications. They exhibit excellent true perfect enclosure performance. Acoustic-based communication power transmission systems have been an active area. A lot of methods have emerged over the years. And so, see, I have pointed out at the limitation, but I have also praised the work. It's quite possible that the person whose work you are actually pointing out the limitation, that same person might be your reviewer also. Okay. So do not criticize anybody's work. Appreciate the work, but point out the limitation. Okay. Not every work is limited. Some work is has some limitations in certain cases. Some works have advantages in other cases. So you have to, map that. Okay. That is what you're supposed to do in the background and literature review. I've seen people who have criticized, in a very harsh way, and their paper will never get accepted. It never gets accepted. That's what happens. So always appreciate other people's work. Also point out their limitations. Never disrespect others. Okay. And then based on this, you can start constructing your works. Why you are doing what you're doing, why you are bringing this new kind of a system, why it is needed, that kind of thing. Okay. This is a takeaway message which you are giving to the readers of your art. So this is a short example of how a short literature survey should be done. Okay, summarized in a very short, compact space. Okay, now see how the argument is built. Okay, the first argument, we have built the first argument. Okay, first case we have built, and then we strongly suggested a likely solution. Okay, which is logically sounding, yeah, and satisfying the known laws of physics, or in this case Maxwell's equation. In your case it could be thermal equations, it could be something else, or it could be computer science related things, or algorithms, etc., etc. Okay, now then there is a second point of argument, and then strongly suggested a likely solution in a logical way, again taking care of the physics. So once you have 2-point argument, then the stage is set for the third point. Then you give a third point of argument. Then again suggest a likely solution. Then a fourth point. Then again straightforward. Then you can straight away come into the say that why you have done what you have done, right? So this way, once you have 3-4 points of arguments, and you're suggesting a solution for that, that is it. You are done with the first section. Now you can go into the next section. That is, summarize the problem statement and the concept diagram. Okay, so that is what you're going to do, and then you will move into results or methods or results and discussions, and so on and so forth. Okay, so here is one of the methods in which you can actually summarize the problem statement. Just take a minute to see this entire picture. Look at the part A of this figure. you see two coils, okay, coaxially aligned. And when that same coil is misaligned, see how the power in the bulb goes down. Okay. So this is a wireless power transfer system, inductive wireless power transfer system. It's transmitting energy from here to here. But the moment I misalign it, the power in the bulb goes down. So this is the first part of your problem. Now, if you are operating the system in the industry, you cannot align them all the time and operate. Okay. Second part here is the B part. Okay. Here you see this is a inductive power transfer system. This is a bulb glowing, and I bring in a metal sheet in here. This power transmission ceases to exist because of the Faraday shield. Okay. So now I say that I have a problem here. If my transmitter is placed here and my receiver is probably placed here, 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 there is a lot of metal in it and there is a misalignment. Right? So this gives an intuitive presentation of my problem statement. I don't have to speak much. I don't have to write much. The other person will see it and you will understand. One very important thing which you have to understand is that you cannot use copyright events. Never use them in your journal articles. Never do that. Okay. Always draw your figures, use CAD, or you engage some other method. Okay. Or you can do a lot of things in the PowerPoint itself. You can draw figures in the PowerPoint itself. I will show you through some examples how others have done it. So you have an understanding of how to do this. So this is very important. Okay. Now here is another example of a composite concept diagram. Okay. So here is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Okay. So this is the concept of the proposed Zenith wave system. The first part is a Tesla transformer, which is a quarter wavelength secondary, open-ended. Okay. It forms a virtual ground because the other side is open-ended, so there is no current flowing inside them because open circuit does not support current. Okay. Only a closed circuit is when current flows. So that's a concept how Tesla transformer works. And then we go into how the Tesla transformer is constructed. And then we go into other details like how the field looks like in a quarter wave Tesla transformer. Then what we are doing in the paper is actually shown in D, E, and F. Okay. Here you have a modified Tesla transformer, but instead of quarter wavelength, they are using lambda by 2, that is half wavelength. Okay. And then they are using this particular thing as a substitute for the ground, and then they are actually also placing it on top of an insulator to enable a transverse magnetic mode wave. Okay, so that's a different story. When you read that article, you will find out what is happening there. And then this is how E field looks like. Look how the E field are different. So now I will tell you which part is coming from which area. So this figure was constructed on a CAD tool, 1, 2, and 3. Yeah. This one was also constructed on a CAD tool. This one, 2, and this one. Whereas this was a simulated figure. Okay. Simulation was done on ANSYS HFSS, and here too the simulation was done on ANSYS HFSS. This is a actual picture of an experiment. So here you have the transmitter, you have the receivers, and then there are metal obstacles and things like that. Then you have a metal shield. The transmitter is inside the metal shield, and the two receivers are outside the metal shield. So this is one of the hardest things to do in electromagnetics. So this actually gives a complete thing to the reviewers, and now your reviewers are extremely interested what this article is about. Because remember, their attention span for your paper is hardly 5 minutes. They will not give you more than 5 minutes. When it comes to editorial teams of a journal where maximum desk rejection happens, their attention span is about 2 minutes. Okay. And a really senior editor will not go into your paper beyond 1 minute. So whatever you have to do it in this window of 1 to 5 minutes. Remember, your window is very small. If you are not, if your paper is not interesting to them in this 1 or 2 minutes, then remember your paper will be rejected. Be very assured about it. Okay, so that's why this concept diagram is so important, so important. Another thing, if you if you are planning to submit for a conference article, which you think is probably going to be probably get indexed in Scopus, and sometimes you come to know that the conference, none of the articles of the conferences have been indexed in Scopus. This happens, and this happens a lot. The reason is the Scopus team is also basically they are also reviewers of any from some journal. Okay, Scopus team is not some overnight they have not created a new team. Their team is the same guys who are in the editorial boards of these journals, and they apply a similar criterion. If they don't see that these things are there in the paper and it is not convincing them, they will read hardly 5 to 10 articles out of the entire lot of 200 articles. They are not going to read everything. Just 10 articles. They will see, okay, they have a checklist. Okay, all these things are there. Fine. Then we index this particular conference articles in Scopus or SCL. Otherwise, they will not. Okay, they will just return it to the publisher saying that the semantics are bad, the graphics are bad, blah 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 blah. It's a poor quality paper. Yeah, and so it's a collective responsibility. That's what I'm trying to tell. Every time you do something, think about it as a collective responsibility. Okay, thank you. Then focus on the next part of the diagram. Focus on the working principle of your listing. Okay, here you have shown an exploded view. Here you show how the voltage swing is happening in this open-ended secondary. And then here you show what kind of field is generated because of this. This is the kind of field, transverse magnetic mode field. Okay. And then there are isophases, scenic isophases, which are created. Now, how is the field interacting with the metal sheet and why these phases are formed? That's what you are explaining here. So this is an image charge concept. One field of line comes and terminates at the metal sheet. Another field opposite this thing originates from inside the metal sheet and what meets it here. And we know that this is a case of opposing vectors, and hence that becomes a neutral point. So that's the very simple thing. So each half cycle, this reversal of field happens, and the image charge is also reversing. And then there is an oscillation, and hence there is a wave. Okay, wherever there is oscillation, there is wave. Then wave is moving in a transverse manner. Yeah. So that's the concept. So this is an intuitive presentation of the working principle mechanism. And trust me, once you have these kind of figures in your paper, right? The reviewer, you will end up in either in a major review or a minor. You will not get rejected. Outright rejection is reduced by almost 90% reduced. Okay, you will go into the next level. And once you have that next level thing, you are actually going to be in the safe zone. That's where you can actually expect that your paper will be considered for publication if you make the efforts to address the reviewer comments after that. Okay. Now this is another paper from another group which was published in Nature Communication. See, I'm considering only this kind of articles because these are the best in the business and they have got the highest quality. If you maintain that quality, then you can actually easily get through any of the Scopus index journals or those SCI journals, which are Q2, Q3, Q4. Very easy to get through. Okay. And in some cases, some Q1 journals too. Okay. Maintain these quality standards, and then you will see how life is easy for you after that. Okay. Now, look at this particular figure. This is all created on PowerPoint. Okay, some parts they had taken from here and there. I mean, like they created in there this I know was a Photoshop created thing, and this is their actual image of their prototype. This is available on the Microsoft PowerPoint, and these are the mice images you see here are actually their actual images which they have captured, and they're from the infrared or whatever. And then they have put it in the system. And then they show how they process data. So all this is actually on PowerPoint. This is also on PowerPoint. See how beautiful this entire thing is. It tells a story, right? Then here you look at it. There are some actual figures from their readings which they have used, and they have absorption and spectrum and all those things. Everything is mentioned in this. So when I look at it as a reviewer, I immediately know what these people are trying to do. Okay, and then you will see that so what So what actually happens is that right now I cannot zoom in, but when this is published in the journal, you can actually zoom in and look at individual picture, and all the pictures are of 300 DPI quality. So they will not split even if you zoom into them. So you will be able to see the concept right away straight. Okay. So you have to be very careful with drawing these kind of images, because you will be ending up at some point in time in low quality. Therefore, use a high quality thing always, yeah, and try to draw it. See here, they have shown what kind of circuitry they are using to study this thing. They have used an antenna, okay, and they have put the mice inside a cage. So this is the configuration of the antenna. It looks like this yellow streak lines, but actually these antennas are represented like this. So there are 4 antennas studying 4 mice simultaneously. That's what they are doing, and they are using artificial intelligence to study the tumor growth in the mice and resistance to tumor growth and suppression of the tumor growth. So that was the whole point here. Okay, that's what they are trying to do. Another example is actually now they have left the mice behind. Now they are looking at the how the tumor, I mean, like the heat maps on the tumor and heat dissipation cycles. They have studied all those things. So these are actually very important things which are required in this thing. Okay, in a biomedical device. So that's what they are trying to do here. So just go through this paper. I'll share the links to this paper. Go through the paper. You will understand, because some of the elements here are, artificial intelligence and all those things they have been used. So computer science people will be interested in this kind of thing. Yeah. So what we have understood so far is good diagrams will provide intuitive understanding. Okay. You always reduce the problem into a simplified format to apply it to a known and established, mathematical formalism. So, and then equations will always support the theory, right? So that's why you combine all these together. And now how to do that? Let's learn by an example, small example. Okay, so I come back to the original Noda Shinoda paper. I don't think many of you are from wireless background or electrical engineering background, so this is going to be a bit difficult. But when you go with the handouts, you study this and apply it to your respective field, how you can connect it. It will take some practice, but you'll be able to do it. Okay, this is just a very rough guideline on how you should do this. Okay. So you take the figure once again and draw the figure in such a way that you can reduce the figure into a mathematical equation or model a mathematical equation based on the problem statement given the figure. Okay, that's the very simple brief guideline. Okay, that's what you're supposed to do. Then from that you start using the scientific concept and then apply an engineering aspect to it. Then you can actually build on the mathematical formalism based on this set of figures. That's what I did in my research too. And this Noda Shinoda paper was a big guideline for me in many ways. That's why I always quote their example, because their figure making skills actually propelled my imagination to think and connect it with the mathematical equations which were there. Okay, and vice versa. So you can actually, once you have a good scientific concept diagram, you can come up with a mathematical formalism. With the mathematical formalism, you can build on the next parts of the same scientific concept into more better diagrams. And then after 2-3 rounds, you will see that your theory is so strong that nobody can actually dispute. So it's like a to and fro mechanism which you have to do. Okay. Then another some things are that you sometimes you have to provide some very specific equations for very critical components of the prototype. So for example, this is from a fluid mechanics thing, I think. So there is a velocity factor which can be represented by V of F, Vp by C, and things like that, and so on and so forth. Yeah. So these, but provide a design equation of the critical component of the prototype. Then you have to also specify very clearly where you have used this particular equation to calculate what and how you have used it in a simulation tool. Even if it is by trial and error method, it's fine. It's fine. Uh, Trial and error method is a very valid scientific method. That's not a problem. Okay. So instead of directly using a trial and error method, you can ask ChatGPT for alternative, terms. For the longest time, even before ChatGPT existed, I knew that a very posh term would be carefully selected or adjusted parameters, which were determined with the help of the features of the simulation tool. Okay, but really good expert in the field, when he sees this kind of a thing, he will immediately understand that you have done trial and error. So that's why you have to be very careful while using these kind of words. So using trial and error method is fine. Okay, and you can also mention that it's fine. But sometimes some reviewer, if your luck is bad, then that person may not like it, and then your paper gets rejected. Okay, so that happens. But they are blind to the fact that they themselves have done similar thing, right? That's the irony. That's hypocrisy. And now coming to experiments and discussions, here are some of the golden rules. In case of business management in humanities, always provide infographics. Infographics is the best way to get your point across. Always provide the plots in a composite manner. Like we'll also see in the next slides. We have also seen in the previous slides, but we'll also see in the next slide. Okay. Now the sequence of plots should be same as a sequence of hypothesis, equation, and mathematical model, if any, and your experiments and results. Okay. Don't unnecessarily include plots which have no relevance with your current paper. Okay. And I already said this is not your university exam paper that you keep on writing and you expect that you will scavenge some additional points for it. No, there's no such thing happening here. Okay. If you are showing equations, okay, and you are showing experiments using that equation, you are claiming that equation, is somehow you are using it. Okay, then you must always show the trend of that equation through your experimental results. It's a very, very important thing. Most people make a mistake here and they end up in a really bad review comments. Okay. Yeah, harsh criticisms come there itself. The one of the most common review comment will be the results are not properly validated. Although it is a good concept, but the results have to be the paper lacks scientific rigor, or the results lack rigor. Yeah, those kind of comments. When you see, please understand that you have somewhere not taken care of this last point: equations and its experimental trend. That's very important. So let's see some infographics. Okay, this is a humanities and this is a management or finances paper. So tax compliance cost is composed of three things: internal tax, external tax, and miscellaneous tax. Right. Here this is a computer science articles. This thing. Yeah. You have various different kind of memories and CPU registers, CPU caches, and things like that. So it actually summarizes the latency in them at various these things. Yeah, and the latency is shown here on this side. All right. Now here is another example of infographics. So, for example, this is a number of melanoma cases in the year 2020, all ages. So this was an article by Professor Bocaturo and Eugenio Bocaturo. So in his thing, he had shown this infographic. So this is black thing is global, green is Africa, Latin America and Caribbean, North America, Asia, Europe, Oceania. So that's an infographic he was showing. Although I would have liked it if there was some numbers here to the infographic. It's really, really important. What is missing is the numbers here. So without those numbers, this infographic has no actual meaning. So that's why I included this, because this has got no meaning if you don't have numbers in the infographic. So you have to have numbers. Okay, just ensure that. This was from a review article of the batteries where they're used. Okay. So these are the review articles. This is from a review article. Now, some more, like infographic, the science and engineering style. Uh, you show your, experimental setup, and you show what you have measured in both. Using the same experimental setup, you have measured two different things. One is efficiency versus distance. Another one is received voltage in the receiver based on the distance. So that's what you're showing. On the other side, there is current. This red plot is current and blue plot is voltage. So that's what we're showing. This is called IV characteristics. And then this is one of my most favorite, composite plot example. Okay. This is from a, about Science magazine, right? So this article is from a Science magazine. This is from geology. Yeah, this is from the geology sector. It's not even from India, but still, this is my favorite. Look how they have shown here in the globe what is their area of study. This part is their area of study. It's in the Pacific Ocean between Russia and USA, somewhere there. Okay. They have focused on New Zealand, Wakahari, yeah, Tongariro, and Rofiu Islands. Yeah. And here they have Wakari volcano, Ruafu volcano, Pavlov, and Bezimiani, okay, and other ones, Venimiav and Tongariro. Yeah, so those are the various volcanoes, and their NSAR data, eruption data of the Vakari, Rofio, Pavlov, and Vesniani, Veniaminov, and Tongariro. Yeah, all of them are listed at one place. Look at the data, right? They've shown it. So everything is at one place. You don't have to look at anything else. It's everything there, right? Here, the map shows the scale is also shown in the map, the exact location near Australia and Iceland at place, yeah, Greenland at place. And then there is a matrix of correlation coefficient between the eruption pairs. So what they were trying to tell is that there are two volcanoes erupting at the same time. So this volcanic eruption in these places is happening in a in a kind of a synchronized format. Okay. At any point in time, there are more than one volcanoes erupting at the same time. That's what they were trying to show us. Okay. And then they have also studied what is their correlation factor, coefficients between the eruption pairs. Okay. So that's what they show here. And again, see how beautifully they have actually shown this entire thing, and it's so elaborate. The data is very, very elaborate. Takes a long time to study all of this. Okay. So that's the thing. And you really, the reviewer is forced to look into this paper because every data is in the figure. The data is not in the text, but in the figure. And then more examples of seismic signals between 2019 and November and December 2019. So that's what they show and everything. Yeah. Then another example of composite plots from a Japanese group. Yeah. Have a look at this. They have designed a coil embedded in a liquid metal, fiber. Okay. Or basically copper wire in the clothes. This is for wearable electronics. Look at this. Figure A shows the entire how this was constructed. Figure B shows Q factor of this coil. Yeah, every coil has a Q factor. Q factor is quality factor, which means quality factor means how much energy can it store or how much energy can it capture. Okay, that's what in very short terms. Okay, when we talk about the frequency with respect to the frequency, and wherever it can have the maximum Q factor is that point or that frequency which is known as the resonance frequency of that coil. Yeah. And then there is scattering parameter, reflection parameter, Stuman parameter, yeah, which shows the efficiency of this coils. And then there is a resistance, more resistance. This resistance, what happens if your coils, because you are wearing it, what happens if it bends or bends with your profile, right? So how the resistance is changing, how many bending cycles is actually changing the resistance and things like that. So if it is not changing, if it's fit, it's a very good thing. So far from this figure, it is known that it is not changing at all. So it's fine. Then there are resistance across time, yeah, in seconds. So if there is not too much variation, then this is an ideal for application. Then there is a weight on the coil. What happens if the weight comes on the coil? How does the resistance change? So they are shown that here. Okay, and then again some more other things, yeah, which are important. Change in resistance ratio with respect to washing or time, and then what happens to the water loss, uh, textile plus coil, textile, ecoflex, PDMS, and polyamide. So that's what they have used here for those kind of things. So, and then they have shown where it is going to be placed in the body of the human. So this is going to be placed somewhere near the lumbar region of the human, because you are wearing it on a textile. Now, what happens to specific absorption radio? So how much radiation or the human body is being exposed to? So all those studies are shown here. They usually we take a cylinder when we represent a human body in electromagnetics. It is represented like a cylinder. Okay, so that's the simplification. And some things like that. That's what they have shown, how the efficiency changes when the coil profile is changing or it's bending and those kind of things. Yeah. And then they also show another place where they can place it, like on the neck, on the waist, and the knee, and things like that. All those things they have shown. Okay. Uh, Now, coming to the conclusion section, the function of your paper's conclusion section is to restate your main argument, okay, and remind the reader the strength of your main arguments, okay, and you should actually connect your conclusion with some of the results that you have, found out through your study. So, in a very brief way, what you can do is that restate the research problem addressed in this paper, and summarize your overall arguments or findings or whatever you want to put there, and suggest the key takeaways of your paper. That is, also mention the limitation. Also say where the further research needs to be done. If it is not, don't mention it. It's not necessary, but it's always a good idea, okay, to mention further research. But it's very important to have your limitations of your paper mentioned very, very clearly, a very, very pointed reference mark. Okay, here are some examples of good conclusions. Okay, you can go through them. I'm not going to waste your time because we have to cover a lot of ground now today, and we are running out of time. This is another one. Okay, so this is another one from the volcano paper, which I showed you. So that's how they have done summarization. See how they have actually shown that 5 distinct phases of the track of onset happens. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they have shown all the 5 things which they were wanting to say. And here it very specifically summarizes the problem statement once again, and then clearly specifies the limitations. See, I was saying, right, you should have limitations mentioned. Even those people who went into the field and conducted this study, and they're really experts in the field, by the way. They are very big names in their field, but still they are mentioning the limitations of them. So those are the people who will probably be invited to write a review article, and that review article is actually much more worthwhile than someone who is in the early career, right? If I'm going to go and write a review article, I don't think that will make much impact, because I've not yet spent that much amount of time researching things like these guys have done. So think through it before you write a review article. Review article is not for you if you are in the early or mid stage. It is for those guys who are in their late mid stage group. Okay, those are the guys who are invited. See, invited review article has a value. Just sending a plain review article to a journal is only adding to the journal's metrics. It's not adding anything to your profile. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Okay, don't take me otherwise. Then we address the point of tables and referencing. So I have seen a lot of people, I've seen a lot of really bad referencing methods and really bad table, forming methods. And I'm going to address that now in this session. So there are few standard formats, IEEE. Okay. So in IEEE, the author's initials come first and the family name comes next, then comma, and the next second author's initial comes first and the family name comes next. And then title of the manuscript, IEEE journal name, volume number, and the issue number, and then the year. So here, SK Orugati, A. Kosler, TG Tundat, wireless power data transmission for industrial Internet of Things, simulations and experiment, IEEE access, volume number 8, page 187965, 187974, 2020 year, and then the DOI. Yeah. Now, when we talk about some science-based journals, they have a very different kind of a format. So this is an engineering-based journal, IEEE format, that's different. For science, they have a author's first name and then author's last name, followed by this. They will not mention the title of the manuscript. They will only straight away come to the journal's type name. Okay, the journal's name, that too in a shorthand form. And then they will come. They will represent the volume with a number and issue with a number, and in the brackets there will be year, and then DOI. It's a very compact way. It saves a lot of space. I'm a fan of this kind of this thing. IEEE is good, but you mentioned you waste so much time and space on that. But here, this is very good. There is not much space is wasted. But each journal has its own formatting requirement. So you will have to be careful that you don't do science like referencing in IEEE. Then they'll point out, they'll reject the paper. Remember, the journal and editorial teams do not want to work. They want you to work. So if you bring the paper as complete as possible, they will be sending it directly for publication. That's their mindset. They don't want to invest too much time on doing all those things. And especially this is true for conference papers. Nobody wants to invest time or money or energy on pagination of conference papers. They expect those conference papers to be formatted in the specified format. If it is not in the specified format, indexing agencies will also not index them. The reason you know very well, because they are they are nobody but the editorial teams and the review teams of these journals only. They are the ones who are the part of the Scopus indexing team or SCI indexing team. Now, Nature or scientific reports on that format will actually follow for the case of patent. They will take the family name first, the author's name, first name last, and they will specify this identified by the patent number, US whatever, and the US patent 1 of 119732 1914. So this patent was published in 1914. Then you have Kurs. Kurs is the surname A, okay, and this is and all, and wireless power transfer via strongly coupled magnetic resonance. Science 317 83 86. So 317 is nothing but your volume number, 8386 is your page number, and 2007 is your year number. Okay. So like that, this thing will happen. Okay. In same thing, I mean, like so something similar happens for Nature communication format, slightly different. Yeah, I mean, but it is more or less same. A very few minor changes are there, but almost negligible. But if you go into Springer Nature, they all follow the same referencing format. Okay, so you just have to go through it. Then Elsevier format, again, in Elsevier, they have this requirement, very strong requirement of having the name, the first names, initials first, and then the family name, and then they will mention the title of the article, and then the journal where this was published in a shorthand form, and then the volume number and year number, page number at the end. Okay. So in the case of Nature, this was different. The page number came first and the year number came last. But here that changes. Okay. That's just flipped. Now, when you talk about American applied physics letters or AIP, for example, AIP is American Institute of Physics. Very, 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 what do you call it? A reputed outlet. Okay, it's very, very difficult to publish in applied physics letters. It's even more difficult than publishing with Nature Communications in some cases. So that's how difficult applied physics letters can be. Okay. Again, here you notice this one is actually a superscript. It's not a subscript or it's not a normal font. It is superscript. You have the first name initials coming here, the last name coming here, and then they will straight away go for the journal's short form. There will be no mention of the article title. It's not there. Okay. And then you have this volume number, this page number, and the year number. So that's the difference between all of these three formats. What cannot be included in references? This is a very critical question. Okay. Do not cite news articles. Oh, sorry, what happened? Hello? Somebody shouted. My God. Okay, I hope they're fine and they startled me in the process. Anyway, please be on mute and don't do this. All right. All right, so news articles, barring a few exceptions, you cannot cite them. Wikipedia, please don't use Wikipedia. I've seen some of you submitting with Wikipedia references. Please don't do it. YouTube videos and Daily Motion video links, please don't do that. Blog posts, no. Opinion pieces, no, not at all. For everything, go to Google Scholar and you will find an article on it, cite it. Okay. Don't cite all these things. This is not, if you're basing your research article on this, then I'm sorry, it is not a research article. Yeah. Some bad examples. So this is a paper I actually edited once, and I think Dr. Gupta knows it. So Dr. Shashikant Gupta knows about this. So here are a few notable examples which I want to mention. First of all, the title is really bad. It does not follow the problem statement, concept, and application. That is not following that thing. Yeah. Then second thing, I've seen people mentioning their academic, this thing, doctor, professor, doctor, associate professor, research scholar, yeah, adjunct professor, postdoctoral candidate. Don't do that. That is an academic title. It is not to be mentioned in your affiliation. It is not to be mentioned in your name. Your name is your name. Okay. Your name is not Dr. Sai Kiran Sharma. It is Sai Kiran Sharma. That's it. Right? I don't want to mention doctor. It is, first of all, it is a no-no, strict no-no. And please don't do that. And I've seen consistently, even after telling this thing repeatedly, people have still ignored what I've said 100 times. Don't do this. Please don't do this. Not to be done in your journal article. Please, I really request you not to do it. And then, see, a lot of people are from the same universities. Why do you have to mention the same affiliation so many times? Just mention that one affiliation one time and put 1, 2, 3, 4 or 3, 4, 7, 8, right? As a superscript here, right? That's why the superscript is. Okay, do that. Those kind of things you should do. Do not use your doctor or professor titles in the paper. Please don't do that. Okay, that is the wrong thing to do. Another bad example. Your abstract should be written within 150 to 200 words maximum. Should be very specific, right? I was actually flabbergasted after looking at this. Who wrote this and how can they write it this way? It's so bad, right? Then there is another thing which I've seen people doing. This is called tortured phrases, and you can actually go and on Google and find out what is tortured phrases. TORTURED phrases. Okay. So, for example, just read it. This is gold standard. Okay. Okay. So let's see. From the analysis, it has been estimated to achieve at least 40 times speedier wireless connectivity with 5G with respect to current going 4G technology. Who writes like this? You know what they did? They just the faster. They took the fast out of it and they used the synonym and they just add er to it. Faster. That's a speedier. Yeah, that's what they did. Don't do that. Okay. Just a moment, please. And then there is fast infiltration of remote network. Yeah. What is fast infiltration? I think what they probably meant was a rapid, some other word. They use the synonym option in the word file and they just replace it with that. Replace it with that. See, these things don't make any sense. And the moment the reviewer is going to see this, they will reject it because they immediately know that you have copied the text from some source and then you have just started replacing it with some random synonym to hide it from the plagiarism detecting tool. So your paper will be, of a very questionable practice. So that's why it will be rejected. So don't do this. Please don't do this. Write your article. Before writing, you have to read. Read and learn to write through reading. Okay, that's what we are supposed to do. And then there were these very bad examples of how the small, you see the small sections, don't do that. These small sections show that you do not have enough, content, or probably you're not confident with your content. Don't do this kind of things. You maintain a uniform, word length for each of the sections. But dividing them into so many small sections sends out a very bad message. Don't do it. So after seeing this, I decided to contact the author, but I did not. So instead, what I did was that I thought I should redraw this figure based on the lines of this. Okay. Now look at the this figure. So sorry. Here they have this table, but this table is not a table. This is a screenshot of a table, and that's included in the manuscript. Don't do that. Why don't you use Word? Like native Word environment table in the native Word environment. They really did a really bad job at that. Okay. They really did a really bad job. This was bad. You cannot do it this way. You have to have a table, use a table proper one. Okay. And then I also saw that these figures were really bad. So I simulated the entire thing. If you look at this plot, again, this is straight away, this is coming from ANSYS HFSS plot. You should not do this. Okay. What you should probably do is that there is an export option on the HFSS tool or any tool, simulation tool which you are using, to export the entire data into CSV format and then plot this data on Origin or some other plotting software, good plotting software. Why don't we do that? I don't know. Or else if you're going to use this as it is, then you have to, make these fonts bigger to match the captions font, which is actually difficult to do. That's why it's allowed to export this plot and redraw that thing, plot that thing on our Origin software. That's fine. Oh, now look at how this I changed. Okay, experimental design of multi-band MIMO antenna for 5G application. So I changed the title into design of a multi-band MIMO reconfigurable antenna for 5G and IoT applications. So here I have actually shown what is the concept and what are the applications and what are the problem concept application. That's what it was. Right? And look at the abstract. You go through it. You have this handout with you, right? So you already have it with you. You can read this particular abstract and this redone abstract. You will understand how different these two are. Okay, and how well this is written in comparison to this one. And then the antenna design, images were like this. So, and then I was like really sad that they have done it. And then I redesigned this entire thing on PowerPoint. These are made on PowerPoint. And then I sent them to the authors. I said, you use this instead of that. Okay. So I don't know what is the current state of it, but I had sent it back to whoever sent me this, and the authors got these edited this. Okay. And then this is another one conference paper, and the person was calling me day in day out that please accept this, please accept this. I said I cannot accept this. Just sit back and read it. Just read it. Each one of you, just read it. Okay, let me read it for you. The elephant is the biggest creature, and identification of the situation of an elephant is a vital task. It's mostly done by GPS and caller ID process. In keeping with the behavior of elephants, rehabilitation of elephants is very important. For rehabilitation, identification of an acceptable location is important. In our work, we have got studied the number of elephants in captivity in the Chhattisgarh state, the reason behind the death thanks to elephant behavior, and therefore the reason for the elephant. Can I accept this paper? We gave 7 chances, okay, before we could reject this paper because we understood that the person was not a native speaker of English. So it's okay. But then, even after giving so many chances, it's author's responsibility to fix the grammar, fix what they want to say, okay, and then probably take help from some professional. Nobody is stopping me. But instead, they kept on calling me, and then they started writing very bad emails. Okay. Another thing, you cannot use maps from the internet and put it here in the paper. Don't do this. It's wrong. And especially if the maps are somewhere there. It's an open source map, it's a different thing. But it's a copyright map, don't do that. Anyway, and then naming of the sections, what is forest, animal behavior, rescue operation. My God, I was like really, I didn't want to go into this, but then this is the case. Another bad example of copyright events. Look at this. You have published this paper, let's say. Netflix sees this. It says this is copyright. Voice Nation sees this, and they say it is copyright. Snappa sees this, and they say it's copyright. Big Stock, WP Engine, all of them, all of these companies will start suing the, the publisher. Also, they will start suing you because these are copyright events. So don't do that. This is actually pointless to write articles like this. Okay. So these are the reasons why papers don't get indexed. Okay. And then some love-filled correspondence. So we will save it for some other time. So people wrote really bad mails to me at some point in time, abusing me. You want answers, we will go for legal action against you. No, you cannot. It is your responsibility, right? Unprofessional behavior is your behavior. Your action is going to ensure your paper, your article, you have to improve it. It's not my responsibility as an editor to improve your article, right? That's all. And I always say, read before you do and take any action. First, you have to read everything, each and everything. Okay. Any conference, just because you are participating in it, they will not accept your paper. They are only giving you a window of opportunity to publish. Okay. You have to remember this. Just because you have paid a registration fee does not guarantee acceptance. That's another thing which you have to understand this. Okay. You have to follow the criteria of peer review. Then only acceptance is there. Okay. So these are the various things. People have to understand this. There's no other go. Additional aspects I'm going to cover now. So your current submissions, which I received now. Okay, I'm coming to that one. See, I saw this paper, a few days back. A fuzzy logic approach to assessing risk factors in oral cancer development. First of all, this is not clear what they are wanting to do. Okay, you know what I want. Problem statement, concept, application, or switch around this thing. But you have to have a very strong problem statement. Your approach must be properly mentioned, and what you are trying to solve must be mentioned, right? So that's what it should be, right? Here it's not there, it's missing. Second thing I observed is breakage in the abstract. When we write abstract, we never see this kind of 3 paragraph distribution of abstract. I've never seen that. That happens only in one case, when you use ChatGPT. So please don't do ChatGPT. You can do grammar editing using ChatGPT, but don't make ChatGPT write your entire article. Okay, that's absolutely wrong. That is not your article. Another thing which I also see, the abstract does not follow the 5 element rule. Problem, solution, concept, or results, application, conclusion. Doesn't there. Nothing is there, right? So it's a bad example. Another thing I'm observing, we gave the link to the manuscript template. See, the template is supposed to be downloaded and you're supposed to write your article in that very template. Okay. You see here, this is the first page of the article which I received, the same article which I was talking about, the same article. Yeah. The author has not in, has wrote her own, in her or his own format and submitted it. As I already told you, if you are lazy, the publisher is even more lazy. So for the publisher, when the publisher has given a template, in the template there is a footer, and this font is actually Calibri. You are giving a font which is probably Times New Roman. So that means you have clearly not understood or clearly not read the instructions itself. The instruction clearly said, please use the template provided to you. Write everything in that. Do not write in another document and then submit it. Don't do that. Okay. That's not something you have to do. Another thing, the way you write your names and the way you write your affiliations, that's the way it is going to come on the journal. We can't change that. If you are creating a profile, it is your responsibility to ensure that all details are correct. You cannot submit something and then if we publish it, you cannot contact us again and tell us that no, this is wrong, you have done it wrong. No, it was you who did the wrong. You cannot put it on us because you will see whatever you type. Okay, the way you type it, the way it will be published. Please remember that. Okay, so please take care of these basic things because these are the practice grounds for you. When you try to publish in journals, I don't know what you're doing, but these are the things which you are supposed to follow. And those people who are following this, they're getting their articles published. Those who are not able to do that, their articles are getting rejected. I see 10 rejections each day. I'm seeing that. Some of the people whom I'm supervising, I have already explained to them what they are supposed to do, but they are not doing it and they are facing rejections. That's what is happening. So, but if you follow these guidelines properly, no rejections will happen. Okay, or the rejections will be minimized. Okay. So again, the title of an article should not be more than 16 words. Okay. Abstract should not be more than 200 words. This was very clearly mentioned in this thing. References should be numbered like this. Not in brackets, not in this. Simple numbers. I'm talking about the format of the conference articles which you submitted. Another thing here, you can see, I've clearly said, this is your figure caption. This is your font inside the figure. Both of them should be of similar sizes, or at least they should be comparable in size. Okay, and they should be legible. By legible means they should be readable. Okay. Some important details: referencing styles, figures, how to draw them, how to create crystal clear plots, how to format the figures and tables in a manuscript, LaTeX and its powerful features, MS Words and its powerful features, manuscript templates, reviewer comments, and how to address them, do's and don'ts. So these are some important details I want to cover, but I'm not sure whether we have the time for that. But I think some of the things we have already covered here. I'll share this again. Some things I've added here, so you can actually some more things you will have. Okay. So these are some kind of a self-study. What is the premise of the study? What is missing in the abstract? Very specific task undertaken for the study. What's missing in the abstract? This is the question you have to answer after all these things. Yeah. And then I show how these things are written and for other things. So you can go through them. This is mathematical paper. Look how mathematics people are doing these days. Yeah. They are showing the entire flow of the mathematical equation, how the equation is working now. Right? This is a concept diagram. It's a very good way of saying we are doing things. Yeah. And then see how they are connecting this with this with this, that with that, and so on and so forth. Use origin. Okay, origin plotter. If you have the license, it's fine. Otherwise, there are some freewares also. You can use that. Or else you can also use the Microsoft Office packages, wherein the Excel sheet itself has several plotting features. Okay, you can use that. That's not a problem. Spend some time on using a YouTube tutorial. Okay, there are absolutely good YouTube tutorials showing how to do all these things. Okay, so this was drawn on Origin Plotter, by the way. Not Origin Plotter. This was done on Microsoft Excel. You see how clear these images are? Correct. I hope you agree that the images are very clear, crystal clear. When you copy this into a Microsoft document, it automatically adjusts itself as per the font size of the rest of the article. That's the advantage. Sometimes you can also manually change it, and that's the advantage with plotting inside Excel. Okay. You can connect your document to that automatically. It does when you copy paste it. Now, I don't know whether I should show you this or not. I'm a bit in two minds, but I will show you anyway. This is a video. Okay. This is a video of a tool which we developed.
Welcome to the AI-enabled document formatting tool. This is the user interface. On the left is the button container with all publication fields from author to references. The center is the form container where fields appear when clicked. And on the right, the preview panel shows your document in real time. Let's get started by selecting the type of publication. At the top of the screen, you'll find a drop-down menu. This menu includes all supported formats, whether you're working on a journal, conference paper, thesis, or any other academic document. Selecting the right type ensures that the editor automatically loads the correct fields and structure for your chosen format. Once you've selected your publication, you can begin filling in the required fields below. Start with the title of your document. This should be clear, concise, and reflect the main topic of your work. Next, enter the author's full name. If there are multiple authors, you can easily add more fields. After that, provide the affiliation, the name of the institution, university, or organization the author is associated with. Then comes the city and country, where the affiliated institution is located. And finally, input the email address of the main or corresponding author, so they can be contacted by publishers or reviewers if needed. Next, you will add the abstract, a brief summary that highlights the purpose, methods, and key findings of your work. Just below that, enter your keywords, important terms or phrases that describe the core topics of your document. Once you've entered your abstract and keywords, it's time to start structuring your content. Begin by clicking the Heading 1 button in the button container. This will add a new heading field in the form. Here, type the name of your first major section or chapter. Next, click on the Chapter Content button. A text area will appear right below the heading. Use this space to write the detailed content related to your heading. To add another section under your document, simply click the Heading 2 button in the button container. A new heading field will appear in the form container. Here, enter the title or subsection name that falls under your main heading. Once that's added, click the Chapter Content button again. This will generate a new content field just below heading 2. Now you're ready to type the content related to the specific subsection. Now let's take a look at the Add Here button. This feature gives you complete flexibility. You can dynamically insert any field at any position in the form based on your structure or flow. For instance, I've just clicked the button to add an image field. You can now upload your image directly into this section. Right below the image upload, there's a dedicated field for image caption. Here you should enter a clear, concise caption or description that explains what the image represents, making your document more informative and visually organized. After inserting the image and its caption, the next step is to add a table. Inside the text editor, click on the table icon in the toolbar. Before selecting rows and columns, make sure to choose your layout style, either single column or two column, depending on how you want your content to be arranged. Now, just before inserting the table, you'll see a field to enter the table caption. Use this to briefly describe what the table represents. Then, go ahead and drag to select the number of rows and columns you need. Once added, you can start entering your content into each cell. The table editor also supports actions like merging or splitting cells and adding new rows or columns as needed, giving you complete control over the table layout. After adding the table, the next step is to insert formulas using our built-in formula editor. At the top right of editor field, you'll find a field to enter the equation number. Start by numbering your formula, then begin writing it in the editor below. You can add a wide range of formulas, including derivatives, integrals, summations. Also, you can add logarithmic, single integration, double integration, applying limits to them, and many other mathematical or scientific expressions. Click the three horizontal lines icon to access a library of predefined formulas and use the keyboard icon next to it to open a full panel of symbols and functions. You can even type chemical formulas manually in a structured and user-friendly way. Most importantly, this is not a static editor. You can edit or update your formula at any time, making it easy to make corrections or adjustments as your document evolves. When you click on the reference button, a reference field will be added to the form. Here you can enter all your citations and reference details as required. Once the references are added, you'll notice the preview button just below. Clicking on this will generate a live preview of your document, formatted according to the rules of the selected publication type. The preview will appear in the preview panel, allowing you to review how your final document will look, complete with all the content and structure you've entered. Now, let's look at one of the most advanced parts of our application, AI integration. We've built smart features to help you write better, faster, and more accurately.
If you want to generate new content, just type your prompt in the input box. The AI will automatically create content in the selected field for you. If your sentence sounds a little awkward or hard to read, click on Improve Writing. This will make your sentence smooth and easy to understand. It keeps your meaning the same, but makes the words flow better. Want to make your text shorter? Just click on Shorten. It removes extra or repeated words and keeps only the important parts. Your meaning stays the same, but now it's easier to read and more to the point. Need to explain something more clearly? Click on Expand, and the AI will add helpful details, examples, or explanations. This is great when you want to make your writing more complete. And finally, if you're stuck and don't know what to write next, click on Continue. The AI will read your sentence and add the next few lines that match your tone and topic. It's like a smart writing buddy that finishes your thoughts. If your paragraph is too long and you want a quick summary, click on Summarize. It will turn your writing into just 1 or 2 sentences that capture the main idea. Not happy with how a sentence is written? Use Rewrite. The AI will give you a new version that's better structured, clearer, and more engaging.
Once you've completed your document, simply click on the Download Word button. A Word file will be automatically downloaded to your system. After the download is complete, just open the file to view your fully formatted content. When you click on the Download PDF button, the document will be downloaded as a PDF file to your device. Once the download is complete, simply open the file to view your fully formatted document in PDF format.
So we come to end of this session, and I hope so. This tool which you are seeing right now is a beta version of what we are developing, and I hope within the next 6 months this will be ready to even help you in understanding if your paper is actually ready to be published or not, because there will be a scientific advising coming into it. That means the tool itself is now going to advise you once you actually upload your paper. It will tell you whether your paper is complete or not. It will even show you some standard things which you are supposed to follow, which others have followed, so that there are better chances of your paper getting accepted and your paper quality, actual overall quality improves. So that's the AI part. So although my team has included the writing using AI, but I'm going to get that removed. I'm going to only allow it to grammar edit, because I don't want the original thought of a human being killed by AI. That's very, very important. So I hope this tool will be available to all the people, okay, by sometime early next, early season of the next year. So, and then there will be also artwork integrated to it, so that you can actually build your artwork in the same thing. I mean, like, use your experimental results, combine it with some other graphics and make it, a composite figure and things like that. Automatically it adjusts or something like that. Right now we are right now it's going on. It's an ongoing effort. So I hope my engineering team will complete it by uh, yeah, within 6 months or 7 months, and then we will give it to all of you to make a trial on this, use it for some time, yeah, and give us a feedback to improve this tool. So that's what we are going to do. So thank you very much. I think we have come to the end of this session, and now you can ask questions, please, and the floor is open. Any questions from anyone? Any questions from anyone? If you have questions, please feel free to ask. Otherwise, we can end the session. Thank you very much, those who have enjoyed this session. Sure, we are actually going to conduct, Dr. Malik, we are actually going to conduct a cybersecurity session very soon, I hope, sometime in 2-3 weeks' time. And also, I hope you are now you understand why the conference one publication of the conference one papers got delayed after going through this session. And also, you understand now that we have a uphill task with the conference two papers. So we will publish the conference two papers in due course of time. You don't worry about that. Be prepared with your conference three, because some issues have to be fixed in the conference two papers, which we will take care on a need-to-need basis. Some of the papers are fine. Some of the papers still require some work. So we will definitely do that. And yeah, once that tool is ready, I think the job becomes very easy, because that tool right now can do IEEE access, IEEE conference papers. It can do Elsevier, some of the Elsevier journals, MDPI journals, of course, it can do. It can also do, Taylor and Francis and CRC Press. So all that is there, all that thing is there, but it is undergoing testing. So I cannot give it to you guys now. Okay, I hope you understand. Okay. Any questions? I'm open for the questions, and then if not, then we will disperse. Yes, Martin. Hello, Dr. Martin. Dr. Rajeshwari, it is already mentioned, we have already mentioned the database. You have to check. It is already, this information has been communicated multiple times. Please do visit the website once in a while. We keep updating information there. It is there on the web page itself. Okay, let me share my screen. I think I'll have to show, because we learned this morning that people don't read. So let me show. So you see here, journal list here. This is my screen here. This is the journal list. Once you click it, here you have all the list. You can click any one of these and you can find out according to your field. This is for SCI, scientific citation indexing, and engineering people. This is social sciences. This is arts and humanities, and this is the complete journal ranking list. So there are about 3,500 plus journals, and these are the standard database of the Clarivate Analytics, which is SCI. I hope that is fine. Thank you. Okay, so someone else has written, thank you, sir. We will surely work on your suggestion share today. Okay, please do that. Okay, management scholars. See, I'm not from management background, but I will definitely try to find an expert in management field, and then I'll try to arrange a session. Okay, I'm not from management, so I'm challenged by the field. Correct. So that's the thing. I'm good with engineering, but not with management. How do we get the manuscript of the session and when? I didn't understand, Jibril. Please, can you speak what you want to ask? Can you ask what you want to ask using your mic, maybe?
Sorry, apologies. I'm in a noisy place. So what I'm asking is that how do we get the notes from this cloud? There's quite a number of clouds.
I'm not able to get you because you have a lot of echo. But anyway, I'll just ask a question. Do you mean that the recording of this session? Is that what you're saying? If it is about recording of the session, you will get the recording of the session by evening. And also the handout I'll share once again in the group. So I think that's what you wanted to know. Dr. Martin, I still see your hand is raised. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Oh yeah, Jibril, yeah, I will send you. We'll send you. No problem.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, can we get the research paper writing tool?
Tool? No, I will not give that right now. It's under test. Okay.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, sir. Okay.
Not now. Not now. Yeah, Dr. Martin and Dr. Janathanan. Once Dr. Martin has, if he has asked this question, otherwise then we will move to Dr. Janathanan.
Sir, in abstract, we want to mention the novelty.
Novelty, as I said, novelty is a very strong word to use. Someone like me will not use that word, okay, because I'm still very new kid on the block, right? There are experts who can write novelty, but someone like me with just with 14 publications, as you already saw in this morning, I only have 14 to 15 publications, journal articles, publications. I cannot claim novelty there because I'm not an expert that much. Okay, I am an expert in translating my research into into commercial entity, but from basics as a C. Novelty can only be claimed by, in my opinion, can only be claimed by someone who is doing a fundamental research. What engineering people do is not fundamental research. You know what I mean? Only science people can do novelty. I do not know the same about humanities and management because I'm challenged by my field. That's the thing. So I hope I was clear on that. And okay, Jayaprakash Narayan Dwivedi, is this website splashed? No, it's SGS. This journal, this website which I just showed you, or are you talking about the video which I showed you? If it is this, then this is the main website of the SGS Lincoln. You can
Sir,
see
main
it in the
website means what? You are saying LUC or SPAS? Yes.
what?
Yes, this SGS. Okay, this only SPAS I was saying. Yes, sir.
Yeah. The journal database is on that one. Yeah. All right. Any other questions? Subin, thank you. Okay, for the kind words. Dr. Shivshankar Reddy, thank you very much for the kind words. I think Yavahir, thank you very much for the kind words. Will it be Javahir or will it be Yavahir? Because I keep reading it as Yavahir, like a J is like a
Today, Dr.
European.
Jawahir, J.
Jawahar. Okay, okay.
Yeah,
All
right,
right.
right.
Because when I was, I spent a lot of time in Germany, so automatically my, my mind switches to Jawahir when I look at it from anybody from, who come
No
from the
problem.
Western,
No problem.
geographically Western countries of India. Whenever I look at them, that automatically happens, switches to that one. When I'm looking at someone from India, this will be automatically J. So I get confused. So that's what. Thank you so much. Any other questions? If not, then we wind up for the day. Yeah. Dr. Shashikant, do you have any announcements to make?
Yeah, hello. Yes, sir. Good evening.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Good evening,
Do you have
all
any?
of you. Yeah, just inform one information related to the SCI Q1 publications. So if those who want to publish their papers, okay, so they can contact us. We can provide the APC funding. That is not an issue from us. But you just maintain the novelty and the quality of the paper. So that is important for SCI Q1.
Also, it should be a research article. Am I correct?
Yeah, it should be research article, not a review article. That is also very important aspect. So those who want to do and publish your papers in SCIQ1, okay, so we can also recommend the journals for the same and also provide the APC funding. So you can contact me anytime for the same the quality papers. We can check first and then we can recommend the journals and the funding as well. So you can contact me anytime for the same. If you have questions related to it, you can ask. I hope it is clear to all of you.
Okay, so some people are asking what is the third conference date? When is the third conference? Third conference date, I thought this was the end of this month, right? Now we are in July. So
Yeah. It is in last week of July.
On the last week of July.
Yeah.
So 26th and 27th of July will be the third conference. So we will announce it today. Don't worry about it. No, not 24th July. 26th and 27th of July. Saturday and Sunday.
Sir,
Yeah.
we can give the schedule very soon, so they can.
Yeah, we can do that. Not a problem. Do it. Yeah. Any other questions, anyone? If not, then we can discuss. Also, another thing, I just forgot. For your, some of you had asked me in the beginning whether there will be any scope for help in, or any publishing opportunity, any other publishing opportunity in indexed, book chapters or something like that. We have edited book chapters, but we don't know whether it will be Scopus indexed or not, but we can actually send them. And they are free of cost. You can contact Dr. Shashikant Gupta because a lot of our supervisors are actually now running some of the edited volumes. So you can actually contact Dr. Shashikant Gupta about it. We are regularly announcing these things on our newsletters. So I hope you have subscribed to the newsletters. So just go into this. I'll just a moment. Let me share the link once again. Yeah, not the link, my screen once again.
Yeah. Yes. Recommend these edited books for the book chapters publication. If you want, then there are different newsletters from our side also.
Yeah. So here are the newsletters. When you go sgslincoln.com/news, you will you will find all the things. Oh, what happened? It's got stuck. Okay. Something is wrong with the Chrome these days. Okay. Oh no, not
Sir,
this.
are these publications considered for this PDF?
Which one?
These book chapters?
See, first thing first, this is not a PDF. Okay. PDF will happen only if there is a fellowship. So it's not a PDF, it will be inaccurate to call it PDF. It's a postdoctoral program. Okay. Second thing, the book chapters will not be considered for this thing, because we have a very strict requirement that the journal article is mandatory. Okay, I think very clear here. So that's this thing. And then if you require any help in terms of journal article, you please reach out to Dr. Gupta or myself by email. We will definitely help you. We have never refused to help you. Please remember, the only thing I'm wondering is people are not approaching us with that kind of, if they are requiring help, please feel free to ask. Okay. Please feel free to ask. This is one community. Please understand that. Okay. And if you have a requirement, yeah, please come. Please email.
One more information. The postdoctorals and research associate must contact their supervisors or co-supervisors. If supervisor is busy, co-supervisor will give you the exact answer related to your query. Okay, so you just need to confirm your manuscript. Okay. With the supervisor or co-supervisor, so they will just give you the review comments and all. Then you just need to submit to the recommended journal. So it's an important aspect. So you just need to contact with your supervisor or co-supervisor. If you have any like problems, or they are not like replying or responding, so you just inform us, so we can just check out. Okay, it's not an issue from us. So you just need to give you information related to your manuscripts to your supervisor or co-supervisor. It is important. So I think there will be no issues for the same. Thank you, sir. Professor Science, sir, any other information you want to share with them?
Yeah, I just was saying, as I was saying earlier, please reach out to us via email, and please do mention who is your co-supervisor in the email also when you're asking for help, and also copy your co-supervisor in the same communication when you are like asking for help in terms of journal publication, so that we will contact your co-supervisor and we will be in touch with him to get the things done to move faster. All right. So please do that. And rest of it, thank you very much. I think we have come to an end of this session. So thank you.
Thank you, all of you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you,
sir,
everyone.
for
Thank you,
the
sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.